Hello kitty winks, hello, it's me, David. Hi. On top of Alien. For those unfamiliar, Alien is a franchise in which H.R. Geiger's bastard love child bursts out of some poor sod's chest and anarchy ensues. Cue the montage.
Oh no, not again.
Delightful. Well, there have been 7 films, as of this video, and 2 crossovers in the Alien franchise, ranging from literal genre-defining classics to utter messes of cellular disaster. I know you're thinking I mean Alien 3 and Prometheus, but I'm looking at you, Resurrection. I don't care if Ron Perlman and Brad Dourif are in it. You're fucking trash! Okay, I'm getting distracted. I specifically want to talk about the new television series that's partially through airing, Alien Earth. Boom boom. Even more specifically, I want to talk about episode 5, In Space No One. I know you're expecting the rest of the tagline, but you already know it. Kind of how this episode plays out. So, Alien Earth is set on, you guessed it, Earth, taking place after Prometheus and its sequel, but a couple of years before the OG movie. Most of the plot revolves around a group of terminally ill children who have had their minds transplanted into fully adult synthetic android bodies who must work out if they are truly human or something else entirely. This episode doesn't involve them. Kids are not. It takes place 17 days before the events of episode 1, all taking place on the ship, the doomed ship that crashed in the first episode, the Maggot. The Maggot. Market? Anyway, on the USS Market, we see how things went down. What went wrong? Who's to blame? And what fate befell those brave spacefarers? Okay, spoilers. Most of the characters in this episode are fucking idiots. Like, they would make Star Trek red shirts look on the ball with how they deal with hostile aliens and an actual saboteur on board. Like, several of the characters kind of actively dick around and act with the wherewithal of lemmings, while someone is blowing shit up and an 8-foot tall rage monster wants to sexually molest their face with its and just as and spit on it while and then call them Susan. The only character with any sort of mission is Morrow, the security officer in Cyborg, who up until this point has kind of been the main villain of the series. Now, I can see that now he's obviously just not getting paid enough for dealing with these idiots. The standout in this lineup of idiocy is the biologist who doesn't put the lid back on the specimen jars, even though they're obviously like blood-sucking parasites that want to eat your brain. The ship's doctor, who is very lax about pretty much everything, including the deaths and monsters. Zavari, who is the ship's XO, who seems to be kind of like the anti-Ripley, and Tang. Tang. Most of the other crew in this are kind of forgettable and also mainly meat for the grinder whenever, 8-foot gets going. Beyond Morrow, there are three standout characters who don't scream idiot. The engineer Shmuel, his apprentice Malachite, and the eldritch eyeball squid monster that I affectionately named Steve. Hi Steve. Now, the reason this episode has stuck with me is that it's a mini remake of sorts of the original movie, but with worse characters. And in no way is this a bad thing. Having characters who are written as being inept in their jobs and kind of bad people plays well for the show. As we know by the events of episode 1, all but Marlowe are dead. And these are the guys who do the shitty jobs for Weyland-Yutani, the big bad mega corporation that has had a hand in every film in the franchise. Except Resurrection.
Oh, they went under decades ago, get them in way before your time. Bought out by Walmart.
So in episode television, which we get blatant cannon fodder for horror and gore, we also get mild fleshing out of Marlowe. At this point, he's been a man we've seen hunting the alien to capture it, waxing on when a man is not a man, and be sinister enough to threaten a young boy's family over the phone. Like, dear God, help! But here we see he's a grieving father who's lost his only true family and is trying to reclaim what he sees as his life's work and all he has left in this horrid universe.
It was for love.
Cool motive, still murder.
We also get the aforementioned Shmuel and Malachite, who are just they're just a bloody joy to watch. From Shmuel's cranky old man who's just wanting to get done with the job, Malachite being a dim-witted boy who's just excited to be there. On one hand, this gives us a genuinely gut-wrenching slow death amalgam surgery gone wrong to remove those leech tadpole things. It also gives us... Wait, I forgot something. We're going to wind it back a bit. Remember Steve? I remember Steve. He's introduced in episode 1, just living in the half-dead body of the ship's cat before attacking and traumatizing one of the cyber kids I mentioned previously. Yeah, the one who wants to be pregnant or something. And in episode 4, it burrowed into a live sheep's head and replaced its eye and then just stared at Timothy Olyphant with judgmental. You! So rewind, and it gives us Eyeball Schmeal. I won't take a moment to say, this should be terrifying. This should be horrifying. But this fucker kicks off against the Xenomorph. Michael Smiley fought an alien. Tires from Space became the first person to bite this thing.
Oi, oi! You lucky people!
Oh, hi, Thomas.
Can we just take a moment? I just love that the Xenomorph, one of the cinema's greatest monsters, freaks out when Steve jumps on his face. I'm pretty sure I did the same thing with fucking Spider. This all leads to the final scene with Myro talking to the computer mother while Zavri gets murderized outside, leading to the opening episode. Well, yeah, there's a stinger showing Marlowe has an important link to Weyland-Yutani, but as a whole, can we just take a moment and just acknowledge this was fucking fun? Oh yeah, also because I forgot, this has nothing to do with this episode, but here is the last line Michael Smiley gets in a different horror movie. Bye.
Oh, you're humming my balls.